Hello. I like to personally thank every single one of you who has actually said, yes, I think it would be cool for you to do a YouTube video on cosplay, anxiety, depression, and social anxiety and stuff like that, as far as being a cosplayer, going to horror cons, to conventions and being a cosplayer and stuff like that. A lot of people don't know that as far as anxiety attacks. Like, I'm having one kind of like right now because I don't know exactly what to say. I've seen a whole bunch of YouTube videos. They start out, with their promo look and stuff like that. My promo looks basically kind of like maybe like a shape mask, and that's about it. It just shows like, hey, it's Michael Myers. I really don't know exactly on how to start out, but I'll just start out by saying that since age 13, I've had a depression issue per se, as far as like people saying that they're friends or even know that they were friends and they really didn't know anything because we were kids at the time, was the fact of them making fun of me uh, because I wore glasses. Still currently do. I just wear contacts now, but it deals in with, hey, four eyes, or something as far as what's known as today, and being a bully. And back then there was no such thing as like somebody being saying, hey, you're a bully, or being bullarized, or you go to a teacher and saying, hey, this person's making fun of me. They just go and say, oh, guess what? Psh, uh, grow some balls and, you know, get on with it. Move on. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt me. I look to horror films, let's say, because of the fact of kids made fun of other kids and they became psycho killers. Like, they made fun of Jason. And Jason do now. He's slashing the fuck out of people and taking names, and you're not going to have sex because he doesn't allow it, because I think personally he's never had sex. So, I think that could be the philosophy for it. But people made fun of on, his deformed self, and he wasn't accepted into society. Going back to like depression and anxiety, I mean, it is a pain in the ass. Sometimes you do get emotional, sometimes you don't know what to say. I mean, I take medication for it. I don't personally take medication for it, but I am prescribed to. But I just choose not to for some reason. I know that I need to. I just don't. Like, for example, like I'm talking to you, my chest is hurting, sort of. Not a heart attack, but the anxiety is building up, as far as I'm getting them, telling, no telling whoever's watching this, my story. Uh, why? First, let me go ahead. I'll go back to my first convention. My first convention was back in 2015 or so. Um, it was in traveled to Los Angeles. It was called Days of the Dead. It had Kane Hodder there. It had Sid Haig, Bill Moseley, Tyler Main was there. The original three girls from the original Evil Dead movie were there, which is kind of funny because they were just promoting, which is, I consider it not a remake. It's just a continuation of the Evil Dead movie, because if you wait till the end of the credits, Ash does show up in Groovy. So really, I don't consider it a remake. Because they didn't use the same people, they didn't use the same formula as it. The aspect of it already happened. as far as that being done. So I don't consider it a remake, but the three original girls were there. The the boy who played in Pet Cemetery was there. The best thing I did, I thought it was like really funny, was that when I first met him, I was like nerds, like, hey, I liked your Pet Cemetery, which I understood he probably got a lot, and um, he was like, oh, thank you, but a lot of people didn't realize he was in Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so I said, "Oh, I loved your line in Kindergarten Cop. Girls have vaginas, boys have penises." He just totally busted up laughing and said, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate that." And didn't know exactly, what to say after that. It seems that when I meet celebrities at cons, I get really fidgety and nervous. Like I blabble, like I am now, telling like how it is and what I thought and nervousness. I was really the nervous that I went was probably when I met Bill because of House of a Thousand Corpses, the Devil's Rejects, and there's Otis. It's like you're meeting somebody for the first time, and you're just like, oh my god, that's your true celebrity. I mean, everybody has them. Like if they met Mark Hamill, it's like, hey, oh my gosh, there's Luke Skywalker, and you're starstruck. Also, the gentleman, I can't remember his name, who played Dr. Satan was there. I took a picture of him, and he kind of got pissed because I didn't know you had to pay to take a picture of people. So I was, oops, sorry. I asked Bill if I can take a picture with him. He said, yeah, he didn't charge. Really cool. Really brought it down to earth, and I was like, oh, that's nice. Across the way was Sid, but he wasn't there yet. So I walked around, and there's Tyler Mane, which is really cool. When you go to cons, like Comic-Con, HorrorCon, any type of thing, a lot of them will have an 8x10 picture of themselves and what they played. And I didn't know Tyler played Sabretooth from the original X-Men movie with Hugh Jackman. I was like, no way, serious? That's cool. Because he only had the poster of him as Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie movies. And so I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. And we had like talked and, a little bit on how he, he doesn't talk or didn't talk at that time to Hugh Jackman that much, but he liked playing the character. He didn't. He was also talking about the fact of how he didn't look at the '78 Halloween movie very much, and he kind of just went off of what Rob told him to. Don't walk like a zombie, walk kind of like a human being kind of thing. So then I got a picture with him. I mean, then he stood up, and I mean, I'm a tall person, but compared to him, no, I'm very short compared to him, kind of like a midget to a basketball player. PJ Souls was there. I thought that was like really cool because it was because of the original Halloween. We talked about, and it was probably about maybe a month or so when Harold Ramis passed away. So I asked if she went to a funeral or he went to his funeral. Talked to Bill Murray, still talked to the other people from the film and stuff like that. She was really nice. I mean, if you ever go to a convention and you see PJ Souls on that list, you go. Bottom line, you need to go because she's the most down to earth person that you could ever experience. She's not, she's not expensive. $20 for an autograph every single time, and the pictures are for free. Regardless, you can walk up to her. Can I get a picture with you? She'll be more than gladly to take a picture for you. She is just really cool and kind of like blew me away. Like, oh my gosh, to admit that. as far and same thing. Same thing with the girls from the Evil Dead movies. I didn't have to buy an autograph or anything. Everything was free. I think the reason why cons back then was good is because you didn't have to pay for somebody to go and sit there and say, "Hey, can I get a picture of you? Here's $30." I think that's a joke. It's a jip due to the fact because you're paying your money of parking or airfare or convention cost or something like that, and then you also need the money just to get a picture with them. To me, pictures are more meaningful than a signature because I think a signature can get lost. Then you're out $30 for that autograph, unfortunately, or milk spills or something happens to it or something. So they were really, all three of them were really cool. So all three of them took a picture with me. I have it somewhere posted on my Instagram page. It's like way back when. Same thing with like Bill was really cool. I heard the Otis twang, and when I asked him, said, can I get a picture with you? And he was like, well, hell yeah, you can get a picture with me. Come here. So it was kind of cool. And then same thing with Sid. I was more nervous meeting Sid because, Sid was like the Captain Spaulding. So, everybody's favorite clown, per se, the Rob Zombie movie. And so I thought it was like really cool. He was really, really down to earth. I don't know what happened to my autograph for Sid. Unfortunately, I lost it or it's misplaced somewhere. But he wrote my name and sat there and it says, most of all, fuck you. So I thought that was like pretty cool. And that's the one where he has that hand up type photo if you ever go to a con and see Sid. So go see Sid too. Sid and Bill and PJ Mosley are a must. Tyler Maine's a must. They don't charge you for pictures. They might, depending upon the con, but a lot of times they don't. They're true fans of the con, and even Tyler was kind of like saying to me that he doesn't feel that people should charge just for an autograph. So my anxiety at that time was kind of high because I was meeting people that I watched on movies and everything. I was like, so it's kind of like, okay, which is kind of funny, and it kind of makes me sound like I don't know shit about movies. But when Kane Hodder passed by, I didn't know who in the fuck he was. I thought he was like some biker guy, and then I passed by his table and he's Jason. So it kind of like blew me away where didn't know exactly who he was or anything like that. And then I saw who he played because of his pictures that it was there. I don't know if that labels me as a lame fucking horror fan because I didn't know who Kane Hodder was because I never like seen a picture of him. A lot of times when I go to cons, I forget that somebody's there because I'm more interested or more excited to see other the celebrities that are there, guests per se. It doesn't mean I don't like them any less. It just means that I like looked at them like, oh my gosh, I forgot that they were here, because you forget when you like exactly show up because you're kind of wanting to get their autograph and say hi to them and experience the fun fact of you going to them, going to the con and saying, hey, what's up, how are you? And even though they ain't gonna remember your name 2 minutes after you like leave their table, but I mean, it's a lot of them do have a lot of impact. I mean, some of them do remember you. I remember a couple of years ago at Son of Monster Palooza, the Rob Zombie 31 film came out, and they had Poncho that was there, and then also several of the cast members that were there for it. And then I noticed that they were going to be at Texas Frightmare like 6-7 months later. And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are going to be at Texas Frightmare too? And they're like, yeah, we just like signed up. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'll see you guys there. So that's where I bought the Michael Myers mask from Son of Monster Palooza from Trick or Treat Studios. And took a picture with them. And so just took a selfie with them and was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then when I saw them again, I like approached their table, but just regular. I had the mask on me because I went to their photo shoot that they had with all 9 cast